Yo, what is up, guys? It's Atlas here, and today I'm going to be discussing another topic. This time not quite so controversial, but kind of just giving my input on the subject. This is again on the subject of CS, but despite the fact that we're talking about CS, I do have a bit of Rust gameplay in the background. This is also taken from my stream, which the link will be down in the description down below, so make sure you go check that out. If you watch the background a little bit, you'll notice that we have some pretty funny content going on. So make sure to check that out, see when I'm streaming. Don't have any regular schedule yet, that's the word. But I'm working on making a regular schedule, and so I should be streaming fairly common. So, click that link, follow, and you'll get notified when I'm streaming. Do Rust, Minecraft, CS, all that fun stuff. So anyways, the subject of today's video, Faceit versus ESEA. Versus others, I guess. I'll throw those in there too, because I'll probably discuss them in a little bit. So this is a problem that I guess a lot of people have. Once you start branching out, once you start getting more hours in CS, you kind of start wanting to branch out and become, well, I don't know if it's up everyone's alley, but a lot of people want to become, like more professional. And after you play MM for a while, you realize that that's really not the way to go about, getting better. Because overall, when all you do is just play MMM, there tends to be a lot of people in there who don't take it very seriously. So you start to look for other clients and services that provide a better, more serious experience. So for a long time, it used to be where ESEA was the go-to for that professional type of gameplay. But it seems like nowadays the more popular one kind of seems to be Faceit out of the two, because those are the two big ones. I mean, there's a couple other ones, but those are the two big ones. And so, I'm just going to kind of give my thoughts on both of them, because I use both of them now, and I have used both of them in the past. So I can kind of give a little bit of input on both of them and which one you should pick, and why. So Faceit, in my opinion, I think it's a very good service, depending on your rank. Because if you use Faceit at a lower rank, probably, well, I know what the Faceit equivalent is, but probably around like GN, like low GNs, silvers. If you make a Faceit account and you get placed, you'll probably get placed in like the low levels, like level 2 or 3. And in those levels, it's almost the same exact thing as comp. The good thing about Faceit is that you don't actually have to pay for it as a service. They do offer a like premium service, but you aren't required to get it to play on the servers. So that's one advantage that it has over ESEA. The drawback on that is that obviously whenever you have a free service, it makes it a lot more widely available, and therefore you'll get people who just use it as an alternative for MM when their account's banned or something. So you're kind of going to miss, some of the exclusivity of ESEA, which makes the players on there a little bit, more serious, I guess would be the right word for it. But that problem, as you move up the Faceit ranks, it becomes less of an issue. You actually, as you go up the Faceit level, because they have a level system, so you're leveled 1 through 10, as your rank, kind of. As you get closer towards the top, you start to get a lot more serious players. So at the end of the day, if you're in a higher level, the difference between the two, it would probably be negligible, and I would honestly suggest going for Faceit if you're in that higher level. But with that being said, like I said, there is that lower level, and it's the pretty good majority of the lower levels, so probably anything under 6, where you won't get a serious type of game, because most people do not pay for Faceit. I would say probably the majority of people on a any Faceit game, except for anyone in like FPL or the super high ranks, they're most likely not going to be paying players, so they don't really have any initiative to take it seriously or anything like that. You don't have that problem on ESEA so much, but you get a different problem with ESEA. When you play ESEA, you get a lot of people who take themselves really seriously, which is a good thing. You always get people, for the most part, who are playing their hardest. They're really trying to be really good players. So they're not fucking around that much, which is one of the biggest concerns people have. But the caveat with that is that you have a lot of people who are very, very cocky, and very uptight, and they'll be very quick to say you're doing this wrong or you're doing something else wrong. And overall, I think that can detract a lot from the experience when you're just trying to play and you have people calling you out, for making one mistake, that all of them do, because most people on ESEA, even A plus, rank S, all that sort of stuff, even pros make mistakes. So, imagine how much worse it is when you're just, a normal, mid tier or high tier player, getting called out for every little thing. And, you say one thing back, like, hey man, let me play or something like that. And then, all of a sudden it just goes down the shithole and everyone's being super toxic. So that's the problem that I really see with ESEA. But those people, I wouldn't call them common. They are kind of few and far between. And overall, it's kind of been this way for a long time. And I think maybe the meta has kind of changed now, but ESEA has always kind of been the more professional place to set, per se. It's always been the more like professional service between the two. MM's always kind of been, the shit tier, it's kind of been the joke. It's always been the joke, and it still is the joke. But Faceit and ESEA, it used to be Faceit was kind of like in between them as far as seriousness and competitiveness went. And ESEA was always kind of on the top as the premium service for finding, actually competitive professional games to, really, I don't know what the word is. I guess get to that pro level. That would be the place you'd go. But now, like I said, I think the meta's kind of shifted a little bit, and I think there's a lot more people now who are actually using Faceit for that. And I think, as someone who's used both of them, I don't know if I particularly agree with that. But, there's a lot of people who would agree with that, so I can't really deny, that that's what it is. I would say, really, the thing is, if you're in the lower ranks, I would say right now, just use Faceit, because Faceit does accommodate for those lower levels, whereas ESEA, you play as a really low level player, and you'll get absolutely shit on. So just be blunt about it. I mean, people will absolutely tear into you if you are obviously a very new player who has no clue what they're doing. Because like I said, everyone takes it super serious, sometimes too serious. And so if you're on there as a really, new player, you're not going to get much sympathy from anyone. Faceit, they have levels for, people who are very new. So if you are in those really low ranks with really low hours, just go to Faceit. If you're in the higher ranks, I would honestly say try Faceit first. I don't play it as much as I probably should to really give 100% opinion on it. But in my opinion, ESEA is still the more competitive experience. So I would say just go and sign up for Faceit, use Faceit for a while. If you're still looking for more, go and get an ESEA subscription. So there's a couple other options as well out there. There's CSGO. Let me try to think. I think ESL has one. What I would say about those, CSGO, it's kind of in the same bracket as ESEA, except it's not paid. But it's a little bit harder to find matches and so on and so forth. Overall, I would say, since it's free and all you have to do is make an account, I would say just try that as well. It never hurts to just sign up, especially since it's a free account. So yeah, if you're a lower level, I would say just try Faceit out. And if you're high level, I would say try Faceit out as well first, and then if you're still looking for more, go and purchase ESEA. So that's going to be pretty much it for my video today. I hope this was informative and helped you out a little bit in making a decision. If it did, leave a comment down below. I might make a revisioned one of these if anything changes in the next couple months, if any other services become available. But other than that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.